Yes, folks, it's John G. Sutton here, Tales from the Jails. I'm going to talk today a little bit about hauntings in the prisons. Seems to be a popular topic, and anybody who's actually spent a night inside Strangeways walking up and down will no doubt have encountered something that made the hair on the back of the neck stand on end. And this is an extract from my book that I'm going to play you now, the audio book. Yeah, that's that one there. Yeah, you can see that. Yeah. HMP Manchester Prison Officer. I'll play you a little extract that tells about a haunting in D-Wing at Wormwood Scrubs. The reading is by Alan Turton, the actor, and this is on my audio book, which is on Amazon.
By turning the key, I registered a signal in the main office that was recorded on a scroll to show that I had continuously carried out my duties and patrolled the landings as required. Everything in D-Wing was locked up, and being on nights, I had no keys. There was a telephone if I needed to call for assistance, but there was no way I could let anyone in or out, and all the inmates were secured behind their cell doors. There's something extremely spooky about the inside of a prison after midnight in the witching hours, especially so when you're on your own. I found myself listening to the silence and was completely convinced that I heard footsteps ascending the metal stairs as I walked along the dark, shadowed landing of D4. Outside, the silver moonlight shone brightly, filtering in through the high windows set into the end wall of D-Wing. It was from within this prison unit, through that very window, that the notorious spy George Blake had escaped in October of 1966. Behind the doors of these cells surrounding me now were some of the most dangerous prisoners in the UK. The great train robbers were in there, Gordon Goody and Jim Hussey. There were members of the IRA and numerous murderers serving life sentences. There was an eerie stillness about the place. The odd scratching sound indicated something was moving, a loathsome rat perhaps clawing at the sewer pipes. A bell rang. Each cell had an alarm bell for the inmate occupant to press and summon a member of staff in the case of emergency. The location of the alarm call registered on the board, indicating which landing and cell had summoned assistance. I checked, and it was the very end cell of D4 landing. It took me a few moments to get there, and I tapped on the cell door. It was extremely cold, preternaturally cold, distinctly chilly, and a slight shudder ran through me. I began asking the inmate quietly and calmly what the problem was. I peered through the Judas spy hole in the door and saw, in the dim light, the prisoner standing, staring at me, a look of terror in his eyes. "There's a woman in my cell, Gov. A woman in a long grey dress sitting on my bed. Get me out, Gov. Gov." The man was obviously deluded, as this was an all-male prison and there were simply no women at all within the walls of Wormwood Scrubs on this dark, moonlit night. I spoke gently to the poor, troubled soul and explained that he was dreaming. This was nothing more than a nightmare and he should rest. All would be well. I told him my name was John and that he was absolutely safe, nothing could harm him, and I was there. It took me at least 20 minutes or so to calm this man down, but slowly he accepted that he'd imagined the vision of the woman and agreed to go back to bed and get some sleep. The rest of that first night passed completely without incident, and at 6 a.m, as the sunlight streamed in through the windows, I felt a strange sense of achievement. I'd successfully undertaken my first night shift without a problem. Or so I thought. The duty senior officer came in to collect the scroll from the main office that had recorded all my turnings of the key, twice an hour, on the hour, and at 1:30. Except I hadn't. He did not look best pleased when he examined the scroll and called me over, asking me to explain why at 0100 hours I'd failed to turn the key on the D1 terminal. That was when I was dealing with the alarm bell at the end cell of D4, I explained, and showed my entry in the incident book. "What did he want?" the senior officer asked, and I just told him how the man had imagined he'd seen a woman dressed in grey sitting on his bed, and how I'd explained he was dreaming, as this was an all-male prison and there were no women here. "Well, there used to be women here," the senior officer replied. "This wing in the 1920s served as a women's prison, and there was a suicide. A female inmate jumped to her death from D4 landing, right at that very end. Many people, staff included, have seen her ghost. She's always dressed in grey." A little tingle of fear danced down my spine as I looked up to the far end of D4 landing, and for a brief moment I recalled the phantom footsteps and that mysterious, unearthly chill that had surrounded the prisoner's cell.
So there you are, that's from the book, the audio book, an extract from the audio book, which is available on Amazon. And the jails are definitely haunted. I mean, you've got to say, if anywhere is going to be haunted, yeah, it's going to be prisons. And Strangeways is terribly haunted by the ghost of one James Ellis, who was the hangman. I've previously spoken about encountering his spirit, and there is a report in my next book concerning the sighting of James Ellis in the condemned cell on B-Wing. So there you are. That's today's little Tales from the Jails. Hope you enjoyed that. That's a song dinger, folks. Grab your goat and run for it. But it's too late for some. You're here, the song dinger's got you now, and I'm going to sing to you. And you know fine well this is going to be pure torture. Are you sitting comfortably? Well, I'll destroy that for you. This is a song by the Beatles. I think it was written mainly by Paul McCartney, who said that he woke one morning and this song was already formed in his mind, and all he had to do was transcribe it. That's happened to me a few times with poems. One poem I wrote was called Grandpa Grumps, about being a grandfather, and I woke up about 4 o'clock in the morning and it was in my head, all ready to go. All I had to do was write it down, which is what I did. I've read it before on here. I'll do it again, but not today. I'm going to do Paul McCartney's song, and John Lennon's, of course, Yesterday, as recorded by the Beatles and as subsequently seriously damaged by John G. Sutton. That's me, by the way. Yesterday, all my troubles seemed so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Suddenly, I'm not half the man I used to be. There's a shadow hanging over me. Oh, yesterday came suddenly. Why she had to go, I don't know. She wouldn't say. I said something wrong. Now I long for yesterday. Yesterday, love was such an easy game to play. Now I need a place to hide away. Yes, I believe in yesterday. Why she had to go, I don't know, she wouldn't say. I said something wrong, now I long for yesterday. Yesterday, love was such an easy game to play. Now I need a place to hide away. Yes, I believe in yesterday. I think you all need a place to hide away now and escape from that, don't you, folks? Yes, well, it's John G. Sutton here. Tales from the Jails.